Welcome to Momentum Monday. Today is January 26, 2025. Howard, have you
What is
down
happening?
have you downloaded that Chinese AI app?
Absolutely. The Chinese can't even pronounce it DeepSeek, you know? You can't say DeepSeek if deep,
Dumpling.
S's and L's. It's funny. It's really interesting, right? Like NVIDIA, everybody's finally in semiconductors and NVIDIA, and I just think, and then very much Jurassic Park in terms of AI. Like machines are when you put it in charge of the machines, anything can happen. And I was going to share that the most interesting thing is the number one downloaded app.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, I guess people are interested,
No,
and the market
they're
reaction so
downloading it,
far.
they're using it, and they love it. Like so, I think we're seeing that if everybody's got access to the same chips, NVIDIA, you can all kind of create, just like Grok caught up to OpenAI in many ways. Well, maybe it didn't catch up, but like this is a capital spend game, an energy game, and the volatility this week should be interesting because it'll be DeepSeek all week, right? So I think
Yeah,
the future is
I mean, not only
what's
right
that?
now, not only because we have the FOMC on Wednesday, we have a bunch of big ones reporting earnings, Apple, Tesla, Meta.
No, but everything will be spun in the media towards DeepSeek. I
Yeah.
totally agree.
As of
So
right now, overnight, we have many of the semiconductors are down, stocks are down 5%, Nvidia down about 5%. Um, Nasdaq 100 is down almost 2, 1.7. So
I'm looking it up
there's
right
gonna be
now.
a sizable gap, downside gap, opening tomorrow.
Yeah. And Nvidia's down and aftermarket
I think
5%.
last I saw it was like 135.
Yeah, down 5%. So that's a
Yeah.
so 135 puts in a no man's land.
Yeah, it's been in a range anyway. So
Yeah.
basically, yeah, in the middle of the range.
Yeah. So basically now we know why the stock hasn't been advancing, right? Like this was all you just didn't know the news. Like where the bear market, if it's gonna appear, it's gonna come from page 10. Well, DeepSeek would have been page 100 based on
Yeah.
I'm a venture capitalist and no one was telling me to look for DeepSeek. So
Yeah, nobody knew. Yeah.
yeah, now there's just Twitter's going to become all expertise around Chinese AI overnight, and just like they did COVID. So I think the best thing to do is just let's check our screens in a week around semiconductors, right? I think the big news last week was really energy breaking out, right? Like no matter what, it's all going to take energy to drive all this nonsense. Nuclear. I think like
Yeah,
the
anything related to nuclear has been hot, obviously also AI related because all those databases need power. So we
this
saw
was a SPAC. This was Sam Altman's SPAC because
a lot of
nuclear.
the speculative nuclear plays like OKAO, like SMR, like
And
NN,
then
NNE breaking out, but not only, like also some fuel cell stocks like BE
hmm. What's the
breaking
weekly
out.
of Bloom Energy? Geez, that's been around forever. Hang on.
Yeah, this is the weekly.
Okay, I'm putting that on my screen.
This
Jesus,
is the monthly.
hang on.
Huge base, I guess. Um,
Interesting. What do they do? What does Bloom? What does it do?
Fuel cells. So they distribute and generate energy through fuel cells. And they also had some big contract about powering um, an AI related data center right here when they had that huge breakout on this
Huh.
day. And buyers have been stepping up near the rising 50 days and it's in an uptrend. So it's making new highs. So one of the trending stocks, one of the top momentum names uh, right now, and year to date is been a lot about energy really. Um, Energy related stocks, utilities like VST and CEG among the top performing groups really year to date. So this it has been the main way for the market to play AI this
Yeah.
year.
Yep. 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 And again, if you want to hide out as we battle it out now border-wise about AI, it's still energy by the dips on it. I mean, I
Yeah,
think
it's
one
funny
thing
that
we
like
can
a
be assured of
commodity.
with DeepSeek battling, TikTok battling, Google battling, Microsoft battling
Yeah,
is that you got to power all this nonsense.
obviously they talked about those $600 billion that are going to be invested in a new AI project in the US that kind of stirred the speculative juices in the middle of last week when we saw this breakout in Microsoft, in Oracle,
Mhm.
and even Nvidia, on Wednesday, was it Wednesday? Yeah, last Wednesday, when we had that big breakout, and obviously all of the other cheap stocks. But at the end of the day, the market has just become a lot more volatile than it was last year,
Yeah.
which, it's normal
Makes
to
sense. The
expect.
valuations are there, but if you look at banks, look at like what's where interactive brokers, degenerate economy continues to.
Yeah, Interactive Brokers, Robinhood have been also one of the top groups,
I'm mad at
performance-wise.
myself because this is like the institutional degenerate economy. I'm mad at myself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
big trend in the past few
two
years.
years. Yeah, yeah,
And obviously Hood is more volatile and it's been up,
yeah.
a lot more.
There's this other one, SRAD, that I started looking at, which kind of powers the data behind all the fantasies. SRAD.
SRAD.
You'll
Oh
like
yeah,
this.
yeah, definitely one of the top stocks
Yeah.
right now. Yeah,
Yeah, if you go look at the weekly and monthly, it's kind of like been bottoming.
yeah,
The other one
building
I was
increased
looking
base.
at is like you think about coffee and Starbucks going nowhere, and then Dutch Brothers, $6 billion company.
Yeah, I mean it's 9.3 right now.
I understand, but if coffee's death by 1,000 cuts, and Dutch Brothers, and one of the only other public plays in this space, and look at that. Like, where's the monthly? Like, basically all-time highs. So there's like,
Mm,
you know what I mean? Like, think about when that went public right at the top. So
yeah,
basically, it is all-time highs, right? Everybody wanted out of this thing is out. So you've got to put this on your screen. It's an kids go there and 60-year-old. Like the parking lots are packed. And it's not really coffee at Dutch Bros, it's all sugar drinks.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, Starbucks is too, basically. So that one looks interesting because it's a drug and they've figured and they have just an incredible again, there's so much room to grow in this business if you get the formula right, right? Because Dutch Brothers, what 99% of the investing public's never heard of it. Do they have them in San Diego?
I think there is one in yeah, there is one in San Diego.
But they're kind of like a Monster Energy with the so again, I think,
Yeah,
it's tech could the China thing, like, listen, between TikTok and how this is all going to go on and the amount of money the FANG have got to spend, and even no matter how much they spend, DeepSeek's, snuck into the top app. Like we are in like a really unique tech environment. And everybody hates these CEOs, but at the same time, they're spending like governments at this point, right? Like Microsoft, they can't sit on all this cash, and all right, they'll probably spend it better than the government would. So, kind of as much as we want to hate on these companies, they at least are putting it to work in infrastructure. So I think while they do this and tech maybe marks time, there is a lot working. Like regular banks are working. Um,
yeah,
you know,
financials have been very
Crypto's
strong.
still
Yeah.
working. Like I
I mean, the
said,
S&P basically is at all-time highs. So yes,
yeah, because of financial, they have financial exposure.
it's gonna open down tomorrow, and it's normal to pull back even to test
Yeah,
600, even
yeah.
even
No, we
590.
were gonna listen. This will make any breakout stronger. Like having this kind of news out there, and people
Yeah,
just
shakeouts.
down
Yeah,
two is always good. It just shakes out. I doubt we just gap and continue to go down. Like the market's already pricing in the DeepSeek news, and if you look at Nvidia, it's been pricing it in probably for 6 months, right? Like.
yeah. I mean, also keep in mind that the last big sell-off was here in December on the last FOMC meeting. So the market might be a little bit worried and just pulling back in anticipation of the next FOMC this week, just in case they say something.
What
Uh,
else is interesting? I'm just looking at my, Google had broken out to all-time highs.
yeah, Google setting up near 200.
That won't hold as
It also is gonna
tomorrow.
it shows strength on Friday, and it also is gonna gap down, and it'll be interesting to see tomorrow. Watch for the first stocks to go green, because these are probably uh, the leaders, at least for the first quarter of this year. So, keep an eye, make a list, follow the stocks that go green first tomorrow. And I wouldn't be surprised if Google is one of them.
Yeah,
And
the other ones that were, yeah, and then some of the this little robotics company that surfaced,
yeah,
SER, it's under a billion.
yeah, we
So,
talked about it.
yeah,
Surf, I mean, there are a bunch of them, RR, and what was the other one? Oh, there are like about 10 of them. Like they've been
yeah,
very speculative in the robotic industries.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. So I just think there'll be a little, we're due, listen, there's just so much money out there and there's so many tools to speculate. It'll take a lot to really scare out. I mean, the S&P is at freaking all-time highs. So
yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
just got to kind of dig a little deeper right now. It's not the same stuff that may continue to work. And I'm building a list. But yeah, the two that stand out are some of these robotics and coffee and what else was I looking at? Twilio broke out, but I haven't followed it in so
yeah,
long.
yeah. Another gap up after earnings.
But if you look at the monthly, I mean,
So it'll
like,
probably just consolidate in the
yeah,
next few
where could just
weeks.
go? I mean, look at that. It's basically anybody who wanted out of this is out.
Yeah,
And they've kind of been written off. They power all the messaging apps, and I think as robotic, the social era is over, but like the machine pinging machine via text, there's something there that I've missed, and you got to put that back on your screen. So um, and congrats to those about that first breakout. I think it's another reminder that just long bases, even if they come from really beaten up prices
yeah,
with gaps and change of trend. Look at that volume there at 80. And you've been rewarded in 4 months with almost another.
yeah. So it was like 8.5 million shares, which was like 3.5 times, or even four and
And
a
then
half
you have
times
even a
their
bigger,
average volume. Yeah,
yeah. So it's cloud-based. It's one of those software ones that was written off. Used to love this company back in the day in the social because they were powering all the communications between apps. And I'll have to do a little, I don't know what the catalyst is, but it's clearly come back from the dead and its scale. Um, and look at the earnings, right? They went from negative in 22. So you can see why look at the re-rating that's going on here. So
yeah,
again, there's some chaos in tech because of AI, and there's just all kinds of unintended circumstances. So, I look at Cloudflare too. I was talking to Matthew, the CEO today, just around, because, we're dealing, in the world of bots and web scraping, right? Um, StockTwits needs to upgrade its Cloudflare to enterprise. Like we've just been using regular Cloudflare, so now they've got us, right? Like so this company, while it's not cheap, right? It's trading at 100 and some times, but it's just really pretty much everybody's using it that runs big websites. So there's still a lot of great underlying companies and strength out there. They're just you got to be really careful on what you're paying and just really know what you're doing. There's very few things cheap.
I mean, if you own high momentum stocks, like, you gotta understand that uh, they'll have 10-20% pullbacks numerous times throughout the year. So if you're holding them for multiple weeks, you're gonna experience at least one of those pullbacks. So obviously position sizing matters. And if you don't have your entire account there, if you have like normal, 10, 15% of it, um, it shouldn't be, a big blow uh, when you
Anything
experience
else
the.
that looks extraordinarily strong or weak in the state? But I agree with what you're saying. Tomorrow, look for early signs of green, and you'll see kind of where the strength really is. It's easy in a bull market to see what's going on, but like when you see some weakness and some panicky behavior, you look for those first companies, like you said, to
Yeah,
turn green.
yeah. Typically, they're the leaders. So we'll see tomorrow morning. I wouldn't
And
be.
China, it's funny because the Chinese stocks from Baba to K-Web was starting to like get some.
Yeah, on Friday they actually started to perk up,
Yeah, it's
and
funny. And then boom, DeepSeek on the week. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. So
And
um,
it's,
I mean,
firm.
they've had so many attempts to bounce,
No, no,
and
no, no.
they all
But there was some signal something.
failed. Yeah, definitely. There was a major signal here for many Chinese stocks on
But I think
Friday.
TikTok's not even in the top 10 apps right now. And sorry, my dog's barking, but I don't think TikTok's and even in the.
I mean, they banned TikTok, right? It's not available in the US right now, so I wouldn't be surprised if they do the same with DeepSeek.
All right, well, everybody have a great week. You can check in with us next week, everybody, but I would not
So
anything
ju-
drastic be open tomorrow. Can you
just
hear
make sure to install that DeepSeek on your phone so you can later, when they ban it, you can put it on eBay for
me?
10,000.
Yeah, so you can run a Chinese AI agent. All right,
All
buddy.
right.
Have a
All
great
right.
week.